when you're hurting from a heartbreak, your soul is wounded, right? And if your soul is wounded, if you have a physical wound, what will you do? You go to the hospital. If you have a spiritual wound, you go to church and you get prayed for, you pray, and you whatever you need to do. If you have a soul wound, you also need to be treated. A lot of times we give very little attention to our soul, but I just felt like I needed to say that your heartbreak, your broken heart is very important and you need to give it attention. Hello and welcome to Sacred Seasons with Fumi. If today is your first time of seeing my face, welcome and thank you for stopping by. So for those that have been here, I know you can notice my setting is beautiful, is different. Yes, thanks to my amazing set manager, producer, the husband. Anyways, yes, today is a beautiful day, I hope, for you. And today we have a very interesting topic to chat about. In my last video where I spoke about when God takes away something that you think you needed, I mentioned about the fact that when that happens, you are heartbroken. And it got me really thinking, and I thought, I got a kind of an instruction, let me put it that way. And I'll just say it the way I saw it. It just said, heartbroken, what next? And that's what we're discussing today. So you have let go. Heartbroken, what next? Now, heartbreaks come from different things, in life. You can be heartbroken because, of trust that you had that had been, trust that has been, what's the English word now? Sorry, but you know what I mean. Broken trust. Yes, that's the word. So you can be heartbroken for broken trust. You can be heartbroken for different reasons. People are heartbroken in marriages. People are heartbroken because of expectations that have not been met. But today specifically, just because in this period we are talking about relationship, it looks like we're going to be here for a while. We're going to talk about heartbreak in relationships. Before I go on, let me just say I'm going to be looking at my phone just because I have some prompts on it just to help me organize my thoughts. So I'll mention a few things, some things that are true about heartbreak, just so that you can relate. Number one is that people have the free will to be with who they want to be with. You know that saying that they say, the heart wants what the heart wants. I know it doesn't really, it's not something I say, but I'm just using it to explain what I'm saying, in the sense that people have the freedom and the will to be with whoever they want to be. And if they choose that that person is not you, then they are free to. And the thing with free will is that even our God in heaven will never force his ideas or force the things, his will on us. At the end of the day, the Bible says that it is God's will for all men to be saved. But at the end of the day, he will still allow you to choose him. He will not force himself on you. So the same thing, people have the will, people have the right to choose who they want. Another thing is that people do not need a good reason to break up with you. A lot of times we feel like, okay, especially when people break up and then you say you're looking for closure, or you're trying to understand what happened. A lot of times, there are times that it makes sense, so don't get me wrong, but there are many more times that it doesn't have to make sense. People break up for different reasons, some legitimate, some not. There are people that break up for legitimate reasons, like maybe they find out that you guys have, genotypes that are not compatible, different kind of reasons. There are some people that break up because, long distance, we've been going out, I can't do long distance, I don't think I can do this. And everybody, understanding those ones, you will say, okay, you understand. There are people that will break up because, parents do not agree, or let's even assume, that's there. But there are people that will break up for, I've heard all kinds of reasons why people break up. The most common one that we joke about a lot in my house is it's not you, it's me phrase. That phrase is so it's overused. It has been bastardized. It's not you, it's me. I'm too good for you. I need to work on myself. I need to, seek the face of God that you were supposed to seek before you started. But so I'm just saying that the reason for breakup is not necessarily valid, but it is anyway, and the person has the right to choose whatever reason that they want to break up with you. One other thing that I have learned is that breakup is actually a proof of a successful dating period. I learned this from a pastor. He said that the fact that you are breaking up means that because the period of your courting, dating, you're learning and knowing more about each other as well. You're viewing things, you're seeing things, you're looking through things, behaviors, habits, and you're like, can I deal with this? Can I not deal with it? Breakup means that you've gone through that whole review and one person or both of you have decided that this is not for me. You know what? You're a success because you have just successfully ended a dating period or courtship or whatever it is that you guys have, and you've decided that it's not working and you've gone your path. So it's not a good feeling. However, breakups can be a good thing. So that's another thing. One other thing is that breakups do not start on the day that you hear about it. Yes, I'm going to say that again. Breakup do not start on the day that you heard about it, because breakups don't happen suddenly. This is so true. A lot of times, the time you're hearing about it, when you're getting the memo to say, oh, I can't do this anymore, whatever the reason is, that's not when it started. If you are sensitive enough, you would know. If you're not blinded by love and all the things going on, you would have seen signs. In fact, there might have been times where you've had misunderstanding on things because the person that's moving away has had time to emotionally process. You will notice that they're emotionally distant. If they call you like 3 times a day, 4 times a day before, you're getting to the point where you're not getting the calls anymore, or you call and they don't pick. Oh, I missed your call. They begin to miss your call. What's happening is that emotionally they are detaching. So at the point where they come to tell you that, oh, it's over, that's just the last. They've had some 3 good, 4 good months of, or even more, of processing it and thinking about it. So at that time, they've made up their mind. They've decided. So the breakup happened 3 months, 4 months ago. You are just the one that is just getting the memo. Another thing, I think this should be, okay, yeah, another thing is that the breakup might not necessarily be your fault. However, your healing is your responsibility. A lot of times we feel like, oh, the person that hurts us should be responsible for healing us. The person that hurts you cannot heal you. That's the truth. Your healing is your job. You owe it to yourself to be healed. You owe it to yourself to get yourself out of that situation to a place where you are better for yourself. So your healing is your responsibility, and being better, a lot of times, because when someone breaks up with you, you're bitter. So even when you're trying to work on yourself, you're trying to prove a point, you're trying to show that, look, you don't know what you're missing and all those kind of things. But at the end of the day, it's not even about that person, it's about you. Your future self will thank you if you take responsibility for your healing. And then the last one that I'm going to say about breakup is the fact that your broken heart is precious in the sight of God. I mean, is it sacred seasons if we don't talk about God? Yes, your broken heart is precious in the sight of God. And, in the book of Luke, I think Luke chapter 4, verse 18, when Jesus was coming to the world and his mission statement was published. What was it? He said that the Spirit of the Lord has anointed me, right, to bring the gospel, the good news, the gospel to the poor, to set the captives free. And what did he say? To heal the brokenhearted. Can you imagine that your broken heart is part of Jesus's mission statement? Like, he received the anointing to heal your broken heart. So yes, your broken heart is precious to God. David also, in one of his Psalms, I think Psalm 147, mentioned about how God heals the brokenhearted and binds our wound. There was another place in Psalm, I can't remember and I didn't put it down, where David was talking about a broken and a contrite heart God will not despise. That he was talking in the context of repentance. However, I am bringing it up because God will not despise your broken heart. God takes special attention. He gives special attention to your broken heart. Having said that, I want to go through a bit of a list of do's and don'ts, things to do and things not to do when you're going through a heartbreak. And let me just say, while I was preparing for this video, I realized that there were people that were actually called breakup coaches. And it was so fascinating to know that there are people that their job is to help you move on from this. It just tells you how important this thing is, because when you're hurting from a heartbreak, your soul is wounded, right? And if your soul is wounded, if you have a physical wound, what will you do? You go to the hospital. If you have a spiritual wound, you go to church and you get prayed for, you pray, and you whatever you need to do. If you have a soul wound, you also need to be treated. A lot of times we give very little attention to our soul, but I just felt like I needed to say that your heartbreak, your broken heart is very important and you need to give it attention. So things that you should do when you're heartbroken. Number one is acknowledge it. It has happened. Accept it. When you accept the fact that this has happened, and I'm going to go through the stages of heartbreak, hopefully before the end of this video, and you'll see that acceptance is one of those stages. But accept the fact that this is the new reality. This is how things are going to be going forward. Another thing is you allow yourself time to grieve. You know that we have ways that we just, some people will be like, oh no, you're gone, that's it, bye, boy bye, girl bye, I'm going. Allow yourself to grieve. It's a loss. Something has changed. Give yourself time to process it. And I'm going to balance this, later when I'm talking about the don'ts, because I know sometimes when you say allow yourself to grieve, people want to die there in that depression and just stay there. No, it's something that you should process that emotion, but there is a point where you dust yourself up and then you move on. But allow yourself to grieve. Don't do hard boy, hard guy. And, while I was praying for this, I actually realized that men and women process breakup differently, and this allow yourself to grieve. I will be saying it more to men because it was, studies have shown that when breakup happened to men, the first thing they try to do is to distract themselves with other things, while women, process emotions, because we are emotional beings, to be honest. So women would most likely confront what's happening while men are being distracted. Now, the research also says that after a while, because the women have healed and they've processed these thoughts and these emotions, they eventually come out and they recover fully. However, men do it the other way around. So because the emotion has not been handled, it gets to a point where they now have to face it. And most times after like 60 days or more, it gave different, things that I said, then they start processing their own emotions. So at the end of the day, they kind of start late. So because they're trying to do hard guy. Sometimes it's not because of hard guys, because they don't even know how to progress from where they are. So yes, allow yourself time to grieve. Reflect on the relationship. Review the relationship. Review the breakup. Many times when breakups happen, we enter into this victim mode where, oh, they left me, oh, they did this, oh, they did that. Many times you're not, you might not fully be the victim. You might have contributed to it. And it's good to review the relationship because you're not perfect. Whatever it is that maybe that ex of yours was complaining about, in quotes, look at it and just check, oh, is there something I'm doing wrong? Not because of that person, to better yourself. Don't forget that the aim is to make yourself a better person. So look inwards and ask yourself, because there are some things that you might have done and it might not even be negative. Let's assume that somebody broke up with you, or you broke up a relationship because someone cheated or whatever. The question is, what have you done to encourage that kind of behavior? When I mean encourage, I don't mean it the way you think. I mean, what have you done to condone, to make the person feel like it's okay to do that to you? There are sometimes that we take ourselves because of low self-esteem and the way we carry ourselves, and people feel like they can just do anything to us and it's fine. So how have you presented yourself? How has it been that, you did not carry yourself the way you really are, the way God sees you? You did not see yourself the way God sees you, so much so that a human being thought that they could do this to you. It could be There are different reasons. So look at the breakup, check, because there are times that we condone rubbish or we take nonsense that we shouldn't, and you'll be like, oh no, that's the way he is, he's da 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 da, and this same person will go date somebody else, and that thing that is doing to you and it's easy to do, it will not do it to that person, because the person has set certain boundaries. So what do you think you've done wrong? Did you not set boundaries? Another thing is, check. There are times that because we're in a relationship, we lose ourselves completely. Like, we don't have a personality anymore. We are hidden and covered by the personality of this person. We are covered by everything, so much so that we do not have a definition for ourselves outside this person. And honestly, that is not even right. That is not even good. It happens more in marriage relationships. And if in marriage relationships, it is said that you should have your own you should be your own person. It doesn't mean the two shall become one, yes, but your life should not be engulfed by the person. So if we're ever saying for marriage, where you should be your own person, you should have your own I'm trying not to be misunderstood when I say you should be your own person. I believe so much in the two shall become one, because that's what the Bible says. However, don't hide behind your husband or your wife's personality, basically. So if that happens for marriage, how much more relationship? Because you're with somebody now, you don't have a life anymore. So reflect on it. There are so many things to reflect. I'm just giving examples just so you will understand exactly what I'm saying. And after reflecting, the next thing you do is you learn from it and make yourself better. You make yourself better. We've talked about it. Whatever you need to do. Emotionally detach. That's one very important thing. So I was reading and I saw that there's something in, I think in psychology and breakup psychology or whatever, where you have the 30 days no call rule, and stuff like that. Well, that's psychology, but what I'm just saying is the fact that whatever it is that you need to do to stay away to help yourself heal, because a lot of times we do not emotionally detach. We lie to ourselves and tell ourselves that, you know what, I got this. I remember you break up with somebody today, you're like, oh, we are best friends tomorrow. I don't know how you are doing it. You are really strong, but see, whatever you need to do to help yourself heal, because what you will end up doing with yourself is that you will mess up your whole emotions. You'll be going around circles, and then you will not be able to move on from there. So if it's no contact, please let everybody stay. When everybody has healed and everybody is fine, we can say hello, hi, how are you doing? But at that point, your heart, your soul needs to heal. Another thing you should do is seek help, seek counsel. If your friends, if you have good friends, have good friends that will help you move through that period. Seek counsel, talk to someone, a coach, a counselor, a pastor, all of those kind of things, and look out for what God is saying to you in that season, because God is always speaking. It is you that might not be listening. So yes, that's it. Number 8 is that you should please take care of yourself. I know you're going through a heartbreak. I know it feels like the world is about to end, but you deserve love. You deserve pampering. Take care of yourself. When you are done crying, when you're done doing all those things, dust yourself up, take yourself out, go get a massage, have a good bath, all those kind of things. Go to work, be productive, engage your mind. Take yourself to a lovely restaurant if you can afford it, and give yourself a good meal, because you deserve it. You should love yourself. If you don't know how to love yourself, then other people will not even know how to love you. But the point is that because at that point, you're most likely feeling rejected and feeling like, oh, this person doesn't want me. Don't let that breakup define you. You have to love and accept yourself first. So those are things that you should do. Now coming to don'ts, things you should never do when your heart is broken. Number 1, don't use pity or emotional manipulation, to try to get the person to change their minds. Like I said, the person has had 3 to 4 months to make this decision. They have thought about, you see all these things you are saying, they know you are going to say it. All these tears all this guilt tripping, after all I did for you, they know. And they've thought about it, and they know you will get to that point. So they've decided on how they are going to react to it. So please, don't embarrass yourself in that sense. As in, okay, you're not doing it again. That's fine. Carry yourself. I remember listening to one pastor talking about this. He said, just tell the guy, it's okay. I wish you all the best in life. He said, don't cry, oh, don't cry in that place. Go. He said that when you get home to where your friends are, remove your wig, sit down and cry. Because, so as in, my point is that don't use pity, because you know when people tell you that, oh, it's not you, it's me, I'm not just feeling that connection anymore, then you say, please, oh, let's work on the connection. I can work with you. I can do it. But let Holy Spirit see, just go. Don't try to even do anything about it. Number 2, don't lie to yourself, because that's the opposite of the first one I just spoke about, where you're doing hard girl, like, what's there? I'm strong. What does it mean? What do they mean? Is it because I'm even dating them? That's fine. I'm going, see, all those ones is hurt that is speaking. And a lot of times when your impulses at that time, when they lead you to do anything that your impulses lead you to do, don't trust your emotions at that time. Your emotions are not trustworthy at that time. If your emotions tell you that, go on maybe Instagram and go and say things, don't listen. No, that's the wrongest time for you to go and be posting things. Don't go and, you know the way people are, when you want to know what's happening in people's lives, you just go to their status and you see all men has come. Don't believe anybody in this world. If you don't love yourself, don't do all that. It is hurt speaking. So you don't, well, that thing that emotion is telling you, oh, call him and explain to him and ask him questions and seek closure. You see, closure, that word, it's very tricky, because some people say they want closure, so they want to know what happened, what this. Like, remember I said that people don't need a good reason to break up with you. So that closure you are even looking for, you might not get it. That explanation you are trying to find, it might not make sense to you. So sometimes you are better off without this closure thing. Oh. But anyways, it's not me that is going to tell you what you are going to do or what you're not going to do. Me, I'm just advising. But if you will hear me, please forget about closure. I know it might not, what I'm saying might not apply to every situation, but it will apply to most situations. Forget about closure. Another thing you should never do is do not immediately start trying to emotionally connect yourself to somebody else. I'm talking about rebound. A lot of times, because you're feeling alone, I'm here, I'm alone, I'm used to having somebody, there's always somebody next to me, then suddenly you realize you're alone. You're becoming connected emotionally to other people. You might not even name it specifically as, oh, I'm in a relationship with somebody, I've entered a rebound relationship. It might even be a situationship. You just put yourself in a situation just because you are afraid to be alone. You are afraid to confront that emotion. You're not helping yourself. You will come out worse. You won't come out better. And I'm going to talk about situationship in another video, but let's focus on our focus today. Next is forgive this person and wish them well. Let them go. Forgive them and wish them well. I have a video on forgiveness. You can go and check it out. 2 videos actually, 1 and 2. But check it out. But it's going to do you a lot of good. You're forgiving them for yourself because you deserve it, not for them. Like I always say, forgiveness is for you. So forgive this person and let them go. Before I wrap up this video, I know I've said so many things, but if you notice, I'm rushing. I just want to touch on the stages of breakup, which is very similar to stages of grief. And when I was looking into this, I saw that there were different things. Some people had 5 stages, some people had 7. I even saw one with 14 stages, but I chose the one with 7 because I feel like it's more relatable. So the 7th stage of grief, and let me just say, they don't have to happen in the order, just like the 7 stages of grief for loss. For this in relationship, it still doesn't have to go. I've mentioned the stages as I spoke, but I'll just call them. 1 is shock and disbelief, where I can't believe it's over, where you're numb and you're feeling, what just happened? What did he just say? What did she just say? What's going on? So that's one. Another thing is denial, where you're struggling to accept that it happened and you're like, oh no. Or sometimes you even call and be like, are you sure of what you said? Is this what you want? Is this that you are in denial? Then you have anger, where you are just upset. And that's a very dangerous place, because you can do some things at that time that you will not be proud of. So if I'm experiencing anger, I'll stay away from social media. I stay away from anything that will trigger me, because anything can trigger you, right? Anything can trigger, because you spend time with this person. You guys shared memories together. You can pass, maybe a restaurant that you guys usually go in to eat, and then you see it and you get upset. You can watch maybe a movie or something that you guys have watched together and get, so anything can trigger you. So anger is another thing when it comes to processing the emotions of breakup. And the anger sometimes is not even directed at the person. The anger might be directed to yourself. You might just be angry at the situation. For example, like let's say the ones where they say, oh, your parents said you can't marry each other, and you guys decided to honor the parents and not get married. You're not angry with the person, you're not angry with this person. Both of you decided to part ways, but you're angry with the situation. Like when you have things like when your genotype doesn't work out, you're angry at the situation. You can't be together. So anger happens in different dimensions when it comes to breakups. Another part is bargaining. That's the dangerous part. The part where you are trying to do what you shouldn't do. You are going back. Those things I advise you not to do. All those calling to say, are you sure? Let's start again. Let's do it again. See, it didn't work the first time. There's a reason the breakup happened in the first place. Please just be going. Like, it won't. The next one, this one is breakfast. So if you're not Nigerian, breakfast is just breakup. They serve you breakfast. If you don't collect breakfast and be going, the next one they will serve you, it will be a 3-course meal. Like, you will get it back to back to back. So yes, don't try to bargain. And sometimes when you're trying to get closure, this happens in the bargaining stage as well, where you're deceiving yourself that I just need to understand, I just need some context into what happened. Then you go in, before you know, you are now trying to find your way back. Don't do it. And are there times where people go their separate ways and they come back later in future? It happens, but it's not this, and maybe then they get married and whatever. It does happen, but it's very, very rarely happens. And when it happens, a lot of things go into it. It's not the same people that went that came back. I'm not going to go into that because that would just take me off course. But yes, that happens. But please don't try to go back. Just face your front. Relapse. Yeah, this one where people start stalking each other. You're looking at what's happening. You want to see if God has finally punished the person for doing you dirty. You want to see, oh, are they happy? Are they with somebody else? You are on their social media pages trying to check what's going on with them and all of that. See, you're hurting yourself. And God doesn't even judge the way you judge. The person will move on. The person will meet somebody else. They'll be happy. They will be married. They will have lovely kids and they'll be fine. You get the point? So face yourself. Focus on yourself. Don't be waiting to rejoice on another person's downfall, because it doesn't even satisfy. Even if you see that the person is not happy, it's not going to make you happy. At least not the way you think it will. So focus on yourself and let God settle you in his own time. Another thing is depression, sadness, which I have overemphasized in this video. And then the last thing is that you accept and then you move on, because you deserve a beautiful life. Now, just some interesting facts that I found when I was preparing for this is the fact that the reason why women recover fully more than men is basically in their nature, biology. Women process emotions, men are logical. Because women process emotions, they tend to have better support with their friends, because they can easily go to their friends and start crying. I'm not sure there are many men that will go to their friends and start crying because there is a breakup. There are different statistics on women and men and breakups in when you read about it. I can't remember most of it just because I've said so many things today. But I think it's an interesting thing. You can go, if it's something that interests you, you can go and just look at it. It's quite interesting that men and women process breakup differently. I hope you've learned from this video. I hope you've been blessed. I believe strongly that this video is for somebody, and I hope that this helps you to process this season of your life. And I know that you're going to come out stronger, you're going to come out better, you're going to come out with a testimony and a lesson for other people to learn from. I just want to say thank you so much for sticking with me today and listening to this video. I hope this has blessed you. I hope you have learned something from this. And I pray that the Lord will help you even through this season. Before I go, let me remember to say, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to turn on the notification bell for this video. I know you hear this all the time, so I'm going to say it again. Please like, subscribe, and comment in the comment section. Tell me the most flimsy reason you've heard someone break up. Tell me the most painful thing you've done, or the most embarrassing thing you've done when someone broke up with you, and all those kind of things. Just Tell me about your breakup story if you have one, and have a lovely, lovely rest of the day. Bye bye.